Wasn't the prettiest win, but has Earl Grant ever promised anything was going to be pretty?
You are Locked On Boston College, your daily podcast on the Boston College Eagles, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello, everyone. Welcome. This is Locked On Boston College. I am your host, AJ Black, editor and publisher of Eagle Insider, part of the 247 Sports Network. We're here tonight to talk about basketball. Big win for the Eagles against Providence College on Tuesday night as they win their first NIT game since 2010-2011. First postseason win since 2010-2011. 62-57. We're going to give you a full recap, give our thoughts on what we thought about this game, and get a little bit of recruiting knowledge you're going to want to know about in the final segment. I'm going to give you two names that you're going to want to know about for football. So let's kick this off. BC gets to play Providence College tonight at the Amica something center. It used to be the Dunkin' Donuts Center, I believe, in Providence on the road. And as I said on yesterday's show, it felt like there were two teams that had competing agendas going into this game. You had BC, who felt good. This was momentum after a program who's been in the doldrums for a better part of almost 2 decades now, getting finally another chance at getting into a postseason tournament. Then you have Providence College with Kim English complaining and whining about being in the NIT and just feeling like things were going to be bad for them. Additionally, Providence College was without Devin Carter, their Big East Player of the Year. He was out, banged up. They had another guy, Barron, who I believe is another starter for them, out. And they had 7 total starters on 7 total scholarship players in their game. Now, going into that, hearing that, I was like, ooh, this sounds like Boston College is going to easily, grab a win. They've got the momentum. They're better prepared. They've got, probably more talent at this point with Carter out. But this is Boston College basketball. This is Earl Grant basketball here, folks. Nothing is easy. And they didn't have 7 stars. And throughout this game, it didn't matter because Providence played pretty tough against BC. There were 9 lead changes and 5 ties in this game as both teams just went back and forth. So game starts off and it's slow. It's a slow start. The offense is really not clicking all that much as both teams go into the first half, scoring only 4 points in the first 5 minutes each team. Just a lot of misses. Just things were gunky. I'm going to use the word gunky for this. But both teams start to get their feet underneath them. And there were some big moments in here. One of the big moments that I noticed right away was fouls. And I'm going to tell you right now, as a basketball fan, it's easy to jump into the blame the refs camp for any game. I hate it. I hate blaming refs because I think it's lazy, and I think it's an easy way to get out of actually diving into what happens in this game. In any game, I see a lot of journalists do this, like just complaining constantly about the refs. But BC they got themselves in some foul trouble, and you can say what you will about whether they were fouls or not, but Quentin Post especially gets into foul trouble. Now, he had a tough start to this game because it seemed to me like Earl Grant was trying to make Post happen. You're going to use that it was a Mean Girls, like make fetch happen, make Post happen. They're trying to make Post happen here, and it wasn't working. And then he gets into foul troubles, and then he sees the bench. I got to say, a little bit disappointed here by Post because, this could have been your final game. Do you want to just again be in foul trouble? It's been like a reoccurring theme with him. Like, I know he's a physical player, but You got to be a little bit more careful there. So he gets in foul trouble. Anytime Earl Grant gets into foul trouble, Earl Grant. Anytime Quinton Post gets into foul trouble, Boston College, we've seen it over the year. You bring in Armani Mighty, and you get into problems with your offense because Mighty can't do much offensively. You've got other guys out there, like Devin McLaughlin and Claudell Harris, who are making some good shots, but it wasn't enough. So both teams are battling back and forth. And credit to Providence. At this point, they're hitting some shots. They've got a guard and in Gaines and Pierre. So Jaden Pierre, he hits 5 3-pointers in this game, and I think by the end of the game he was like on one leg. And Devontae Gaines didn't really do all that much, ticket gains. But Pierre just hits 3-pointers every time BC kind of just gets going and going and going. So no one gets anything going. Providence starts to get a lead going, and BC gets some shots at the end and some great defense by Jaden Zachary. I'm going to say this. There's moments out there on defense where Jaden Zachary does some really special things. I thought the end, that last possession that Providence had, it was great defense. And it was good. So, just going into like where things were at in that first half, Providence had a good crowd there that tonight. They were loud, they were rowdy, and it felt like a big game for them at that point, right? So you're going into halftime. BC has a 31-30 lead. And I have to say, like, at that point, I didn't feel that great about where BC was at because, like, you're playing against a team that doesn't have a bench, like, at all. They have 7 players total on scholarship, and you're only up by 1 point. That to me, and on the road too, I was like, this is going to end poorly for Boston College. This is not going to end the way that you would want it to end. You would hope that a very healthy Boston College team could beat a Providence team that's without Devin Carter and without some of their other key players, and to do it handily, but they just couldn't do it. And Boston College, that's kind of their thing. They just never make anything easy. And we'll get into in a moment, the second half, where things still don't get any easy, but BC figures out a way to pull off a big win. And we'll talk about what that win means and a whole lot more in just a moment. Bracket already busted, or it's going to be busted soon. Tired of this old same daily fantasy grind where you make a roster, cross your fingers, and hope for the best, or losing on that last leg of your pick'em entry? Introducing Bettor Together, the first cooperative daily fantasy platform where teamwork triumphs talent and you can play with your friends, not against them. Pick more or less on real-time player stats, strategize with your partner to boost your odds, and climb the leaderboard together. So grab a friend and join the social DFS movement. It's great. Like I'm a big guy when I'm looking at, watching a game and maybe making some wagers on it. I've always done it solo, right? That's usually how you do it. And I talk to my friends and they're like, who cares? And they have different thoughts about it. But with Bettor Together, you can make you can make your wagers together. You can make your picks together. And it shows that synergy from working together gives you better chances at winning than going at it alone. It's all about the team. It creates a shared experience. Splitting a contest entry gives you the feeling of being connected, even when you're apart. And it's a way to stay connected with your friends. Like I'm a busy person, and the folks that I went to high school and college with, I don't get a chance to talk sports with them like I used to when I lived with them in the dorms. Now I can do it on Bettor Together. So check it out. Download Bettor Together right now from the App Store and sign up using promo code Locked On for a chance to win your share of $1,000 in cash prizes. Remember the code Locked On, because winning alone is fun, but it's better together. Your ride or die is everything to you, just like it is for me. My ride or die, my car is everything. And at eBay Motors, they've got you covered. They have everything to maintain your vehicle and level it up to peak performance, from superchargers, roof racks, exhaust kits, LED headlights, and more. Whether you're into speed, power, or style, eBay Motors has got you covered. With over 122 million parts for your number one ride or die, you'll always find exactly what you're looking for. With eBay's guaranteed fit, your part is guaranteed to fit your ride every time or your money back. Because with eBay Motors, you're burning rubber, not cash. With all the parts you need at the prices you want, it's easy to turn your car into the MVP and bring home that win. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only, exclusions apply. eBay guaranteed fit only available to U.S. customers. This is Locked On Boston College. I am your host, AJ Black. And we're talking about the win over Providence. And yes, PC was not Providence College that beat Marquette twice. Beat Creighton twice. This is not the Providence team that should have been, or thought they should have been, a tournament caliber team. They were a bare bones team. But you win the games that are in front of you. You don't win imaginary games that are on paper. Yeah, they didn't have Devin Carter, but that's not BC's fault. You got to beat them. So in the second half, Boston College and Providence continue to go back and forth. At times, it looked like BC had the chance to get away and pull away, but every time they did, it felt like Providence would hit a shot, with either Josh Okora or their guard, Jaden Pierre, to tie it or to take the lead. But down the stretch, it was a player for Boston College that I don't think anyone expected to be the hero in this game. It wasn't Quentin Post. It wasn't Jaden Zachary. Jaden Zachary, who had how many points in this game? He had 2 points in this game. It wasn't either of them. It wasn't Devin McLaughlin, though he has a big point down the stretch. It was Elijah Strong, the true freshman who averaged 2 points a game going into this. Down the stretch, he scores 10 points for Boston College, including a huge three-pointer that completely changed the momentum of this game. Folks, when we've had Beacon Street Ball on this podcast, he's told us so much about how big of an impact, how much he likes Elijah. And I think he goes by Eli Strong. He is a emotional player, man. When he hit that 3-pointer, he looked like he was going to scream the top of that arena off, right? But he's the hero in this game. He hits 10 points, and this is when Quentin Post was sitting with 4 fouls, because the big story in the second half was, both teams. It was just like both teams kind of trading jabs, but Boston College started getting really lazy with some reach-in fouls, like really stupid reach-in fouls. And looking at the foul trouble that BC landed into, I'm trying to find. You had Quentin Post with 4. You had Devin McLaughlin with 4. You had Mason Madsen with 3. But you were also putting Providence on the line pretty quickly. That's like a freebie for them. Like, an offense that's not really clicking all that much. Now you're just going to throw them on the line, let them hit some free throws. But with Post on the bench, you bring in Strong. He goes 3 for 4. He gets 10 points for you, including, basically what the game winner was. This was the Elijah Strong game. He only played 12 minutes, but man, you scored 10 points in 12 minutes. That showcases what you can do. I think this kid's got a big future for Boston College. I think with another year of, conditioning and getting himself ready for next year, he's going to be a starter for BC. You got to get him out there soon, because this kid is electric. And I saw someone asking, I don't know what the transfer portal is going to do for this team, and I have to wonder where Princeton Ligby is going to end up next year, if it's going to be at BC or somewhere else. But there's no reason that Princeton Ligby should be getting more minutes than Elijah Strong come next year. If a lot, whatever role they're looking at, Strong needs it. He needs to get more minutes. And that's why I think probably League B will probably, if I was a betting man, this is not me knowing anything. If I was a betting man, I'm guessing he's going to enter the portal. But you get Strong with some big shots down the stretch. But the game winner, the one that did it for BC, was a 3-pointer by Claudell Harris, who, he's had his ups and downs this year. This was a good game for him, though. He went 6 for 15, shot 40%, went 3 for 4 from 3-point range, and had 17 points, including that game winner right there. He had a 3-pointer. That was it. Because Providence goes down. You're waiting for. I'm such a skeptic when I'm watching Boston College basketball. Yeah, he hits that 3-pointer. I'm just waiting. I'm like, oh, they're going to hit another 3. Providence is going to tie this. But credit to BC and credit to Harris on this next play, which was crazy. Harris then goes back and steals the ball. And like we've seen him do a bunch of times, he runs down the court to try to dunk it and front rims it and misses. I think he front rimmed it. He missed it somehow. He did not hit the dunk. But the basketball hoop gods were watching Boston College, and they were watching out for us because Devin McLaughlin had busted his butt to get down that court, and he put the putback in, and that was the game. After that, it was a 5-point game, and I still thought, like, this game, I think there was like 30 seconds left. I'm like, they could still lose. Providence goes down and tries to, I think they shot a 3-pointer. They missed. And then with like 12 seconds left, BC grabs, I think it was 15 seconds left. BC gets the ball back. Kim English, the Providence head coach, doesn't foul. He doesn't have him foul. BC's not a good free throw shooting team, and he just lets the game end. It looked like to me, PC was just like, well, this game's over. Let's just start our transfer portal work and get it ready for next season, because they just look like they completely quit. But that's not the point here. The point is Boston College gets a good win. I don't care that Providence did not have all their big players. BC did not play their best game. They absolutely did not. But they still did enough to win, and that's all you can do. Now you learn from it, you move on, you hope to get better for the next game. For the next game, Boston College gets either the winner, they get the winner of UNLV or Princeton. And I have to say, I'm gonna play a little stupid. I'm not sure who gets the home and who gets the away. Now, I'm going to say that I watched the post-game locker room celebration from BC, and the way Earl Grant said it, it looks like BC's heading to the road for either of these two games. Doesn't matter who it is. They're either going to New Jersey or they're going to Las Vegas. Princeton's a good team. Princeton should have been in the NCAA tournament, but they lost, in the Ivy League championship tournament. So they got knocked out and they got sent to the NIT. So they're a good team. UNLV is UNLV. So we'll have to wait to see what happens there. But who cares? It's a good win for Boston College. And for that, I think a lot of Boston College fans are excited because it has been 14 years since Boston College has won a tournament game in any tournament, NIT or the NCAAs. And of course, yes, Boston College should be shooting for the NCAA tournament, and it's a very different type of win, but a win's a win. This is a program that has been in the doldrums forever, and to get momentum, to win one game, and to get yourself up to that next game is a positive. You have 20 wins now. That's good. So we'll see what happens with that next game. But a nice win for Boston College basketball. And BC will probably get a rematch with Providence next year in their multi-team tournament. I think it's at it's MGM Grand or Foxwoods, one of the two casinos. And it's going to be between Temple, BC, Providence, and UMass. And BC, I believe, gets Temple in the opening game, and Temple's terrible. So hopefully they'll win that, and then they would get the winner of Providence and UMass. So there's a chance they could get this rematch next year. We'll have to wait to see what that looks like. In our final segment, let's switch it over to football, as I'm going to give you two names that I want you guys to watch out for in college football recruiting that I think are well worth your valuable brain cells. We'll get into who those players are, and I'll explain why in just a moment. This weekend's March Madness bracket highlight is brought to you by our friends at Nissan. Each week, we're picking one team that stands out, a team that's pushed it further than the rest. Just like any of the 2024 Nissan SUVs, these guys were able to take it to the next level. The Auburn Tigers can only be described as the Pathfinder. They've been thrilling to watch and have really created a lane for themselves after claiming the top seed in the SEC, as they knocked off the Florida Gators in the SEC Tournament Championship. They're set to make a run in the NCAA tournament. You can take the Nissan Rogue, Nissan Pathfinder, or Nissan Armada and go find your next big adventure. Shop Nissan USA today. This is Locked On Boston College, AJ Black. Now, folks, if you know who I am, if this is your first time checking this out, thank you first of all for listening. I want to appreciate all you new folks out there. But I'm the editor of Eagle Insider, which is the preeminent Boston College recruiting site. We do not just recruiting, but we do news and analysis of the games. We'll have a full analysis of this basketball game with Beacon Street Ball up tomorrow. We'll have a whole bunch of other things too. But I do talk recruiting a lot. And Bill O'Brien, as I said in previous episodes, has done a really nice job in his first month getting excitement back up for Boston College football on the recruiting trail. Now, there's two names I want to discuss with you today. I like to drop nugs for you, give you a nugget of, someone to watch for, maybe someone to be excited about. And I'll explain why on each of these in a moment. The first name I want to give you is Chris Vigna, who is a class of 2025 offensive lineman from Bergen Catholic, New Jersey. Now, why should you be excited for him? He was on an unofficial visit. He came and checked out Boston College this last week. He loves BC. He loves Bill O'Brien. And he's got a very close relationship with Chris Snee, who's one of the offensive line assistants. So he's got a lot of connections. He's taking an official visit in June. Now, why would this be a big deal? I think a lot of folks out there, you guys listening, are dying for Boston College to get back into New Jersey. Bergen Catholic is a perfect school to start getting some success at. Now, an offensive lineman who has multiple Power 5 offers would be a great start for Bill O'Brien. Chris Vigna, I think, is very close for me to put down a crystal ball on 247. You guys know what that is, right? That's like our predictions. I don't know. I'm going to tell you right now, I don't have insider knowledge on Vigna to say that like he's going to pick BC. I got that hunch right now. I'm feeling it. I'm feeling that this recruitment is going to go in the right direction. So Chris Vigna, Vigna, is one name I want you to watch out for. The other name is an interesting one. He's from Georgia. It's an athlete, and his name is Bryce Lewis. Now, you might think of that last name and go, Lewis. How do I know the name Lewis? Well, if you've been paying attention to Boston College football over the last month, Tim Lewis, the defensive coordinator, is his father. Tim Lewis is, new to the staff, and his son, Bryce, is a 6'6". Woo, that size. You can't teach that. From Georgia. And he's got offers from everywhere. He's currently committed to Arizona. But he's got offers from a lot of SEC schools. He is a high 3-star recruit, a borderline 4-star. He's taken an official visit. He's taken an unofficial visit in April. Now, I think there's probably two ways to think about this kid. Either he's going to go on his own and away from his dad, or he's interested in Boston College. But from everything I've seen from this kid, from talking to him to seeing his social media presence, he's very interested in Boston College. And he's higher rated than anyone Boston College landed last year. And he's not even like the top rated recruit that I think BC has a chance with, but I'll give you more of that on Eagle Insider. So Bryce Lewis, would he come to BC to play with his dad? I think there's a good chance. I think he's going to be recruited as a wide receiver. He's 6'6", so he'd be really big. Put him next to some of the guys they got. They're going to have some giants on this wide receiver group if he comes here. But Bryce Lewis is a name I think you should watch for. So there you go. Chris Vigna, Bryce Lewis. I gave you a couple nuggets. You want more nuggets? Come over to Eagle Insider right now. Check it out. I've got info on official visits. Guys, I have a whole notebook on every notable guy that came to BC last weekend. I talked to all of them and have their notes. I have some new official visits. Come check all that out. Thank you all so much. We'll be back again tomorrow. And as I said on Thursday's episode, that will go live on Thursday for Friday, I'm going to have BC Hockey Blogger on to talk about the hockey semis in the game against UMass. So you're going to want to check that out. Make sure to follow me on Twitter at AJBlack247 and subscribe and like us on YouTube. If you're on YouTube, hit the like button right now before you leave and hit the subscribe button and a little bell so you know when we go live and you can join our chats. I know there's a lot of you guys chatting out there right now. I want to thank each and every one of you who have made Locked On Boston College your first listen. Each of you are amazing. You guys send me messages all the time, and I apologize if I can't get to all of you, but I appreciate you. We'll be back again tomorrow for another episode of Locked On Boston College, your team every day.